Hello people, I am the Comic Book Gamer. Today I'm going to be talking about why Arkham Asylum is my favorite of the Arkham games. It's actually my favorite superhero game, just the Arkham games are the cream of the crop. So generally if you say which one's your favorite of that, it's your favorite superhero game as well. So let's talk about that. I know Arkham Asylum isn't a perfect game, and I barely like it better than Arkham City. They're both great games. I like all the games in the Arkham series. I don't think any of them are bad. But I'd say Arkham Asylum is like a 10 for me, and Arkham City is like a 9.8. So I barely like Arkham Asylum better, but I do like it just a little bit better, and I'll get into why. Yes, Arkham Asylum is not a perfect game. It's got really terrible lip syncing during the cutscenes, some lackluster boss fights, and some other things. It's not perfect, but I do love it, and it is my favorite of the Arkham games. Let's talk about why. Let's start off by talking about the gameplay. To me, the combat in Predator, while not the most mechanically sound, is my favorite in terms of fun factor. I love the combat. It's a lot more skill-based to me than the later games. Yes, the later games add more enemies, like, oh, you gotta triple stun a guy before you can punch him, and stuff like that. While this game only has, like, a few different enemies. It's got, like, the normal guys, it's got the guys with stun batons, and then it's got the guys with the knives that you have to stun first in order to punch them. That's, like, it as far as enemies go in this game. And also you have the little crazy psychopaths that'll jump on your head. Not a whole lot of different enemies, but a good variety. And the thing that I love most about this combat is timing is actually involved. So you can't just mash the counter button like you can in later Arkham games. Later Arkham games, while fun and there is a bit of skill to it, like you can't just be an idiot and play it, that it's mainly just, okay, dodge, mash counter, punch, mash counter. Like in the later Arkham games, I just mash counter to where I can't do that. I can't mash the counter button in Arkham Asylum. That's something I relearn every time I go back to play this game. I'm like, oh yeah, I have to time my counters, which I like, and it adds something to it. It adds an extra element that you actually have to time your counters instead of just, oh, I see a blue thing, time to just mash my counter button. I like that, the fact that there's actual timing to it. Also, it's the most practical of all the combat in the Arkham games to me, because later Batman basically becomes Superman, and this, yes, he can jump like pretty far and stuff, and like across the room to punch people, but he's not going all Superman like in the later games. Heck, you could pick up a guy and throw him in this game. It's to me, it's very practical compared to the other games. It's not like anything realistic because it's Batman. But it's not like to the terms to where you're basically a flightless Superman like you are in the later games. Like, Batman just goes insane with everything he can do in the later games, which is fun, but I prefer the style in this game, the more practical combat. And as for Predator, to me in the later games, the fault of the later games is they give you way too many options in Predator, to where in this, you're a lot more limited. In the later games, it's all just, you have 1,000 different gadgets for every situation. Oh, they did this. Well, I can overcome it with this gadget. And that kind of like seems like a cop-out to me. It's like not really making you think on your feet like the Arkham Asylum did. For instance, Arkham Asylum, partway through the game, they take away your gargoyles. They booby-trap the gargoyles, which, when the first time I was playing it, I was not expecting that, because throughout the entire game for Predator, I had relied on the gargoyles, because it was just, oh, go on the gargoyles, wait till you see someone that's separated from the pack, there's only one guy, okay, go take him out, back up to the gargoyles, my safe haven. Something I had relied on for the entire game up until that point, and then they just took it away from me, and I had to think on my feet, and I like that. None of the later games really threw a curveball at you like that. None of them really did that, to where in this, hey, here's something you've been using for the entire game, and it's gone. Now, good luck taking these guys down. It wasn't like necessarily incredibly hard to do, but it was pretty cool that they threw a curveball at me like that, and I liked that, and it did make me, like, you know, go boots on the ground and go after these guys instead of being able to just take a guy out and then grapple up to my safe haven. I really like that. I wish the later Arkham games would have done something like that. And again, I much prefer the Predator in this, because I would say the maps to me are probably the best in this. And this for Arkham Knight, I would say, has like the best Predator maps. And of course, I just love the simplicity of the Predator, because there's not 1,000 different gadgets to overcome every situation. No, you have to go down there and get your hands dirty, take these guys out. I just really liked it, and it's my favorite of the combat and Predator for the Arkham games. One of my favorite parts about this game is the overall aesthetic. From the very beginning, when you first get to Arkham Asylum, you see how dark and gritty and creepy this place is.
Joker has been apprehended. Batman is now en route to Arkham Island.
fun? Huh? Right.
Like, Arkham Island gives you a very creepy vibe, and this is definitely the scariest of all the Arkham games. It's nothing like a horror game or anything like that, but it's just like the creepy vibe you get of exploring the island, especially if you play this game like for just a while, like for hours straight. You suddenly like the vibe just like you can just feel it, and I really like that. The other Arkham games didn't really have this sort of feeling that this one had, which isn't necessarily a fault, but I did like the feeling that this thing had, the feeling that you would get if you were on an island surrounded by crazy people that are trying to kill you, and the only like place you have is an asylum on this island, and it's like, yeah, that wouldn't be very fun. And it's really great, and I love the aesthetic of the game and everything. I just feel like they nailed the overall tone of this game, and I absolutely love it. I also feel like the Easter eggs and Riddler trophies in this game are way better and feel more important than they are in the later games. Like, I love getting the prisoner tapes, and I listened to every single one when I first got them. And same with the Asylum origin stuff, when like Amadeus Arkham was possessing the warden. That was pretty cool. I like that. I thought that was really cool and added an extra element, something that just interesting to the game. Like, you had all this stuff to listen to where I didn't really care about anything in Arkham Knight and in Arkham City. I like listening to Joker's phone calls, and that was kind of it. Where in this, I listened to like everything, because it was so cool having all this different stuff, and it felt like actually important and cool. Like, if you saw a Riddler trophy that was just so far away, but you saw this green glowing question mark, it's like, how do I get there? And I 100% wanted to get that. Like, that was my goal for like the next 30 minutes, was just how do I get there to get that Riddler trophy. To where later on in the games, it's like, I'll beat the campaign, I'll go back and get the Riddler trophies later. To where in this, when I saw it, I really wanted that Riddler trophy. They felt more important, and like they actually meant something. To where in later games, it's just kind of like, oh, I got a Riddler trophy, time to go get another 500. Like, they just have to add more Riddler trophies to be like, hey, the last one had this many Riddler trophies, we gotta have at least 300 more than the last game. It's like, that's a little absurd. To where in this, less Riddler trophies, but they meant more to me. And of course, the extra Easter egg stuff, like the Arkham stuff and the prisoner tapes, were awesome and a really nice addition. I loved it. Something that really separates this game for me compared to the other games is the fact that it plays out like a graphic novel. It really does feel like I'm playing a graphic novel, and I mean that in the best way possible. The other games, like, I love Arkham City, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it feels more like I entered the world in Arkham City, which is like, it's definitely a good thing. I feel like more like I'm in the world and this is something that's happening, rather than I'm in the graphic novel and I'm playing the graphic novel like Arkham Asylum feels, if that makes sense. Like, Arkham City feels like something that would happen to Batman while he's just doing his day-to-day thing. Oh no, Arkham City happened, to where Arkham Asylum feels a bit more like a graphic novel, like the way the story progresses and everything goes around, and that's how I feel about it, and I just love that. I love the fact that it really feels like a graphic novel, which is so awesome for a comic book game, and I haven't really felt like any game has done that since. Not that every game has to, no, that's definitely not the case, but that's how Arkham Asylum felt to me, and I loved the way it played out, the story progression and everything. I thought it was great. It's really cool to have a superhero video game that feels like you're playing a graphic novel. I thought that was awesome. There were a lot of lackluster boss fights in this game, but something that was not lackluster was Scarecrow. Scarecrow was better in this game than in any of the Arkham games, and I feel like that's not even debatable. Like, he was just amazing. Every Scarecrow segment was fantastic, and there's these little things hidden there around that you can like try to figure out, like, what's Bruce's biggest fear. Well, there's him dead, there's him in a cage, so it seems like, is he afraid of dying? Is he afraid of going insane? I don't know. Then there's all this stuff, like, you can look into different things, and you see his parents coming back when you're in the morgue, and it's like, Scarecrow puts you through so much in this game, and he's not even the main villain. Like, that's what's so cool. Scarecrow, just a side villain, but he puts you through so much. He's like, hey, Commissioner Gordon's dead. Not really. Your parents are back, and they're really creepy. Actually, no, that's not the case. Hey, you're dead. Actually, you're back up. Hey, there's you right there, crazy in like a jail cell. And it's like, yeah, and the level designs for his boss fights were awesome. I loved that, and it was very simple but effective. I thought it was fun, and it was pretty cool how Scarecrow was just in the middle, and it was just a side scroller, and it really changed things up. Like I was saying, sort of how they threw a curveball at you when they took away your gargoyles, how they booby trapped those. Same with sort of the Scarecrow gameplay. It was like, oh, you're used to this type of gameplay, and now it's this. Now it's a side scroller, and you have to avoid being just seen by this one guy. Otherwise, he will give you the most deadly high five of your entire life. And I thought that was a cool element to it. I liked Scarecrow's boss fight, and he was very creepy. He added to the aesthetic that I was talking about that I liked earlier, and I just love Scarecrow. He was just spectacular in this game, and he never really quite reached that height again in the Arkham series, sadly. Someone else who I feel like was in peak performance in this game was Joker. I feel like Mark Hamill gave his best performance in this game. Now, he has done amazing every time he's played Joker, but in this especially, maybe it's because it was his return. This was like the first time in a while that he was able to do more of a mature Joker, because the last time was sort of the Batman Beyond Return Joker movie. Like, that was the last time he was able to really go dark with it, I would say. Besides that, it was all more kiddie stuff, to where they would still make that pretty dark, but nothing compared to Arkham Asylum. And just, you could tell he's having so much fun with it. I loved having Joker constantly on the intercom. Whether you liked it or not, Joker was saying something to you, because he could. He was the warden now. I thought that was great. And I just love that, like, the part where he's listing all of Batman's fears, like, are you afraid of this? Are you afraid of this? Are you afraid of me in a thong? And it's like, it was so hilarious. And just everything, just when he's constantly talking over the intercom, I thought that was great. And the fact that he plans a party for Batman, or when he injects Poison Ivy with Titan, and he just, oh my gosh, Joker was so great in this game. I love Mark Hamill's performance. I love the writing for the character. It all was just perfect for Joker, and he even has my favorite line. My favorite part of the entire game is the cutscene at the end, and I'll just play it for you.
Nicely done, Bats. You deserve a prize. Your old pal, Commissioner Gordon. Say, he looks all run down. Let's pep him up.
No! Batman! Get away!
Here we go. We're gonna have some fun now, kiddies. You're trying to resist the change. That's not fair. Come on, give in. So, you want to play hardball, Bats, do you? Your call. Tickle, tickle. No! Oh, you're ruining my big night! Months of planning down the crapper! I just wanted to bring down your grim facade and for once let you see the world as I see it, giggling in a corner and bleeding. But you've denied me even that. I have nothing to live for.
That part was just amazing. I love that little speech that he gives to the Batman. I want you to see things how I see it, giggling and bleeding in a corner. That was just so fantastic. And Mark Hamill's delivery there is, of course, just spot on perfection. And I feel like that's sort of the real ending of the game, because after that you have the boss fight. That's kind of, I feel that part's more the obligatory boss fight. Like, hey, it's a superhero video game, so it has to end with a giant boss fight. Ooh, and then the boss fight's kind of lame because he just grappled Joker down. Like, it's fun fighting the thugs in the pit, but besides that, the boss fight's pretty lame and a little stupid. Because I feel like the real ending is prior, because we see that Joker is about to shoot Commissioner Gordon with Titan. Obviously, his plan was, he knew Batman was going to jump in front of the Titan, of the shot of Titan, and take it for him. Because otherwise, he could have just had Commissioner Gordon strung up right next to him and injected him with Titan, but he chose to put him there specifically so Batman could take the shot for him. And I feel like that's more the real ending right there, is when Joker goes up to him and he's like, I just want you to see things how I do. I have nothing left to live for, and then shoots himself. But obviously, they can't end the game with Joker killing himself, because that's not good to set up a franchise. So he has to become the big boss fight, and I thought that was, like, you know, the boss fight is kind of lame and lackluster. I don't really care for it. Besides that, it's a great ending. I love the ending. Because but I'm talking about the scene prior, because the actual ending itself is kind of stupid, because it's like, oh, Joker's plan is, well, I'm too physical for you, Batman. You'll have to let the change you. I mean, you'll have to let the Titan change you so you can take me on. It's like, this dude takes on Bane and Solomon Grundy and stuff, and you think you with Titan is what's gonna make him suddenly just be like, yep, I'm gonna let the Titan change me so I can take you on because you're too physical. No, that was a stupid plan by Joker. That's why I feel like that ending was more like tacked on, because hey, this is a franchise, it's a video game, we need this stupid boss fight to happen. I feel that's like how the game went. Anyways, that is why Arkham Asylum is my favorite Arkham game, my favorite superhero game. Please let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite out of the entire Arkham series. I really want to know, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like.
Yeah, this is my passion, but I never thought it'd pay the rent. Yeah, nobody tapping like I do, they don't envision it. I don't want my motive to be the money, creating like I'm so hungry. They looking right at me funny, cause they don't really get it. They don't flex, they ain't blessed, they just rest. They don't stress like I do, they don't test like I do.